On today's episode of Flashback Friday in Elvis history, I take you back to November 7th, 1971. 54 years ago this afternoon, Elvis rock and rolls Freedom Hall, Louisville, Kentucky. Gonna learn some information about that show, see some photos, and just go back in time with Elvis Presley in concert here on Flashback Friday. So go get your popcorn ready. Let's get to the show. Elvis Presley's two leading fans in Louisville are an unlikely pair. They're well past middle age. They don't shriek at the sound of his voice. They don't faithfully collect his records, nor do they swoon. To tell the truth, they don't even care that much for rock and roll. But just the same, when Elvis comes here for a 2:30 p.m. performance at Freedom Hall today, Mr. and Miss Jess D Presley will be there. Jesse Presley, 74, you see, is Elvis's grandfather, and Miss Presley is his step-grandmother. Today will be the second time the senior Presleys will see their favorite grandson perform. The last time was November the 25th, 1956. Last time Elvis performed in Louisville. Jesse, whose own singing career floundered after 3 television appearances in 1958, probably shouldn't go. He had a heart attack last Christmas and has been in bad health ever since, says Miss Presley. Some have asked, do you think he can live through it? I tell them I know he can't live without going. He loves that boy. The Presleys live in a small bungalow in southern Louisville. I'm showing you right now on screen when me and Spa Guy took care of business and found the house. Elvis visited them for lunch the last time he appeared in town and left them with a new car, a television set, and a $100 bill. There must have been 500 people follow him, Miss Presley recalls. They'd like to have killed us the way they swarmed around. Elvis told us that day, Grandma, I'll never be back here again. This is too much trouble for y'all. Presleys don't know if they'll get a chance to visit their grandson today. We don't know anything more about him being here than you do, she said. All we know is that we'll be there for the concerts. If you're thinking about joining them, forget it unless you've already bought your tickets. Concert has been a sellout for almost 3 weeks. Freedom Hall spokesmen expect upwards of 18,550 persons, the largest and richest gate in the Hall's 15-year history. So Elvis's granddad, Jesse D. Presley, saw Elvis perform 55 years ago today in Louisville. Here's another article that I found that says, what you got on your mind, baby? Elvis says into the microphone, his eyes drooping toward Karen, the groupie from Chicago who claims she has followed him to every public appearance he's made in 2 years. There's always that one Karen, right? His hair falls over his eyes. That famous sneer passes across his face. His legs are apart. Karen is on her tiptoes, waving her right hand, the one with the 4 Elvis rings on it. I would have brought more, but they got too heavy to wear, she explained earlier. Her blouse with a genuine Elvis Presley autograph on the back, somewhat smudged with age, presses against a security guard protecting the Freedom Hall stage 15 feet away. She jumps up and down, Jack in the Box like, making it hard to read the slogans printed on her back. This is Elvis Country. Elvis, P-O-W-E-R. Elvis is king of rock and roll. We, Elvis fans, would rather fight than switch. You don't need no grass. You don't need LSD. You can turn to Elvis Presley. And that's what Karen was doing, turning on Elvis Presley. After all these years, Elvis still does it to them. They still scream at his name. They still reach for him and pay $10 to see his face. Their hearts still stop when he pleads, love me tender, love me true. A few minutes before, he had thrown a baby blue silk scarf, a scarf with Elvis Presley's sweat on it, to a girl in a black jumpsuit in the front row. She hopped like a nervous frog, screaming at the top of her lungs for 3 minutes. Elvis didn't notice. He moved across the stage, cool and distant, singing, Are You? Pause, scream. Are you? Another pause, scream. Are you lonesome tonight? Screams everywhere. It was like 1956 here all over again. The crowd of 18,550, the largest and richest in the history of Louisville Freedom Hall, started gathering at 12:15 p.m., 45 minutes before the doors opened to the hall, 2 hours and 15 minutes before the show would begin. Their cards, hundreds of them bearing license plates from Ohio, North Carolina, West Virginia, Indiana, Tennessee, clogged expressways. Their bodies, 50 to 75 deep, press against one another to gain entrance, shivering in the brisk air. Their hands grasped precious $5, $7.50, and $10 tickets. The show was a sellout 3 weeks ago. Hucksters hustled about selling official programs not available inside, containing 10 pages of pictures of Elvis for $2 and I Love Elvis pennants for $1.50. It had been 15 years since Elvis performed in Louisville. I played Louisville back in 1923, he joked on stage, back when Jenny and me were in high school. That was before the Beatles, Bob Dylan, and acid rock and a lot of other things, and Elvis was the biggest thing the music world had ever seen. His greasy black hair was slicked back into a ducktail. Parents said he was vulgar, evil even. Ed Sullivan considered his body movement so suggested he showed only the top half of his torso when he appeared on his Sunday night TV show. Then for 13 years, Elvis disappeared except for an endless string of movies, Jailhouse Rock, Hear 'Em Scare 'Em, Double Trouble, and a bunch more. You mean they actually pay money to go see a boy play a guitar, he said in one. 2 years ago, he resurfaced, and yesterday he was on the third stop of a 13-city personal appearance tour. The faithful came for miles as if they had spent all these years beside their $18.95 transistor radios and phonographs just waiting for him. Many were older now, their bodies no longer lean and hungry, but the women still came in their seductive best. Heavy eyeshadow, fat, tight, stuffed into hot pants. Surely the biggest display of hot pants in Louisville history. Did you wear hot pants that night? Let me know in the comments. Here and there was a grandmother. Guess where I'm going Sunday? Miss Jean Hannon, 56, told her husband, a truck driver, last week. I'm going to be screaming and pulling my hair out for Elvis. 2 of her daughters from San Jose, California joined her for the day. A third daughter, Miss Susie Pierce, brought her husband with her. When he asked me to marry me, he promised to take me to all the Elvis movies, and he has, she said. I just love Elvis, she added before the show started. If I die before he gets here, I want my corpse left right here. What made them come? Everyone wanted to come, said Biller, 17, aboard in Indiana. Yes, I think he's all sex, especially when he sings his slow songs. You heard it from her. 90 minutes later, Elvis was on stage. Spotlights popped on and off from every corner of Freedom Hall. He was dressed all in white, with a blue baby silk scarf tucked under his high-neck shirt with plunged open to his stomach. He removed a white cape with a baby blue lining and picked up a black wooden guitar. Women screamed as he leaned into the microphone and sang, "Well, that's all right, Mama. That's all right for you." That was from That's All Right, Mama, his first record ever. His voice was strong, almost mean, just like the old days. The place was coming apart. Nothing has changed. Not the songs, Love Me Tender, Blue Suede Shoes, Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog, Fools Rush In, all were there. Not the screams, not the famous pelvis, not the left leg. There it was, shaking and moving, ramming back and forth with the music, making women swoon. Fathers worry about their daughters. It dipped, it shook, it throbbed, it pumped, it gyrated. The show was good. But it didn't really matter what or how Elvis sang. His presence had made it an event. Elvis was back. And as Karen, the Chicago groupie, put it, we're just crazy about him. And I bet Karen is still crazy about him. So the night before, November the 6th, 1971, Elvis was in Cleveland and he rock and rolled Public Arena. And here is a photo from there. This is the Memphis Meteor. Elvis Presley moves to a Kiss a Little Girl embraces at a public call yesterday afternoon as a sellout crowd screams. That was a girl that had something wrong with her legs, and she was on stage, and that is a cool photo of Elvis with that little girl. But it says, Elvis is back like a black tornado. And this was the night before today, 55 years ago. So yesterday, 55 years ago, Elvis rock and rolled Cleveland, Ohio, and then headed to Louisville, Kentucky, where he performed in front of his granddad in Louisville, Kentucky at Freedom Hall. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode in Flashback Friday in Elvis history. If you did like it, make sure to like the video, comment, share it with your Elvis friends, and until next time, stay tuned for more Flashback Friday in Elvis history and episodes on Tuesday of Elvis Locations. Don't double dribble. Subscribe to me. Thanks for watching.